what's right and what about it?
Well, yeah, you're here and they're out there and everybody think I'm sucking up, but it turns out I'm not. But you want to find smart money, right? It may be that before you know what you're doing, all you want is somebody who's going to kick some cash into a bucket for you and not bother you much, right? And maybe an angel is a great answer there. You don't need a lot of money. In fact, getting too much money is a real problem because then you're not hungry at lunchtime, right? You're not going to work hard enough. When you've got a pretty clear picture of what you want to do, bringing in professional venture capital, especially with the introduction to potential partners and customers and others, is hugely valuable. And again, I'm not blowing smoke. Our first really substantial lighthouse customer, the big financial services company that kind of defined us in the first 6 months of our lives, was a relationship that Excel brought to us. And look, I ran one sort of organically grown business on my own. I didn't know the kind of people I wanted to hire. I didn't know a lot of the organizational stuff that I needed to know as a venture-backed CEO. Having access to an experienced collection of investors and VCs that cared about our success is really valuable. So there are stages, and the money makes sense in different ways at different times. I can tell you that running this company is way different from running Sleepy Cat. I loved Sleepy Cat, and I love this job. I'm having a lot of fun right now, and I'm glad that I'm not running another Sleepy Cat style business, because I felt like I kind of did that and understand how that goes. And I think that what we've got the opportunity to do here is just huge.
Yeah, we do have some great angels in the company. I do think the right ones do bring a ton of value.
Yeah, fair enough. So Martin Mikos, Diane Green from VMware, Chi Lu, who runs search at Microsoft, Jeff Weiner over at LinkedIn, individually are investors. And I say they just be quiet. That's not true. You know, I call up Martin and ask him for advice all the time. And Diane has been hugely helpful. I was so impressed over the years with the culture she created at VMware. Our internal meetings and the way we communicate is expressly patterned on what she has told me over a long series of breakfast meetings they did at VMware. So getting that kind of access to experienced CEOs who really care is great. And it's enough money for them to be genuinely interested in the outcome, but also, you know, they do it not because of the cash, but because they love running companies. Right? And doing it at one remove is actually kind of nice. You don't wake up in the middle of the night fretting about stuff, but you're there to answer questions from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the takeaway from just hearing you talk is, whether it's founders, whether it's VCs, whether it's angels, it takes a lot. You can help wherever you can.
It just takes a village.
It takes a village, and stitching together those relationships and those partnerships early and often is the difference between a good company and a good company in different places. So, yeah, there's any questions from the audience?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to think in a nonlinear fashion, especially at university? We're taught to focus on specific disciplines, and we're taught to work in processes. So how do you get people to think in this nonlinear way? It's been a big challenge, I've noticed, in our industry.
It is the biggest challenge, and I think the really innovative ideas, the really innovative companies come out of that kind of nonlinearity. How do you make it happen? We're blessed where we are right now. We've attracted talent from around the world that is a couple of sigmas out on the curve, right? And in addition, we've got world-class universities, Stanford, Berkeley nearby, that have broad enough programs that occasionally you get people that doubt, right? I will say, it has driven me nuts for years that Stanford has done such a good job at spawning unbelievably great companies, right? And Berkeley has really done a lousy job at it. What I see Berkeley doing right now, and I'm actually working with the university to make sure this happens, is making the engineering, the now biomedical, and also the business schools collaborate expressly. So shared curricula. I think giving people background in all those fields is a good idea. But then I think the other thing you have to do, you know, I'm 48, 49 years old myself now, but you just got to find young people who don't understand what's impossible. You've got to buy them all the Red Bull they can stuff. You gotta let them stay up for 3 days, working on some hairball idea that can't possibly work. We need crazy experimentation in order for those ideas to come together, right? And then we need to be lucky enough to recognize the good ones.
Yeah, no, the only thing I would add is, there are companies we've seen an increasing amount of cross-discipline. So, I'll give you an example. One of the other companies I work with is a cloud testing company. Sells to enterprises and service providers. And the best hire that they've made these last 12 months was hiring a guy out of the game industry, the video game industry, to build a UI. For the longest time, they had the ugliest, most boring UI. It was basically like slightly better than CLI. You know, the engineers, they were all security and testing guys. They were all like, hey, this is good, this is great. They thought it was the best looking thing in the world. I thought it was, everyone else thought it was terrible. And it was just a byproduct. That's the kind of stuff they built and lived with growing up. We hired this guy. It was kind of a random hire. He came through. He was sick of the game company work that didn't work. He joined. We built the UI in 6 months. It looks exactly like a rock band guitar hero type of UI. The sales guys can finally actually do a demo without calling the engineers. So this is the best thing in the world. Customers are, you know, they can't get off the thing because it feels like they're playing the game. So they're not using it for like an hour long if they need to, and then that makes them like us even more. I don't know what they're doing with it because it doesn't do much after the first hour. But it's created this a tremendous amount of usability that would not have existed if we just kept on hiring another guy out of the software infrastructure space. We needed to bring a different tack to it. And I think we're seeing that even at Cloudera, we have a lot of Web 2.0 guys.
Yeah, we hired a lot of consumer internet people to think about it.
And I think it has really changed. Actually, I'll never forget, this is something I learned at Cloudera. We actually delayed our first, this is one of our early releases, because we couldn't hire the front-end developer guys soon enough, because we didn't think the product was going to look good. And that's never happened, you know, when I was at working selling networking systems. It was, you know, you ought to get slapped out in the last minute. You know, get it out there. The last engineer to touch it had to do the UI, and that was it. And it's totally changed. And that kind of crosses, but not just one example, but I think that relates throughout the organization.
So you have one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah.